what we're going to do now is add our finished ruffle on the bottom. For your sake and for time's sake, I went ahead and serged the bottom edge to finish it of the shirt. I serged along the raw edge of the ruffle. When you go to put your ruffle on, you can serge them at the same time, but I didn't want to stop, get up, serge, and come back. Okay, so I did them separately. So, just like our collar, find center front, line up the side seams, pull it back, and we have our center back. Just to be clear, we are working at finishing the hem of the shirt. Make sure that this is not twisted. Make sure your ruffle doesn't get twisted, especially this one because it's very long. Put my ends together. Go along, and do not tug really hard on these ruffles because you'll snap your threads and you'll have to regather, which is more time that we do not like to do. By the way, I want to mention, I think you can see the difference in width. So I definitely widened my ruffle for my hem, and that was more for balance than anything. At the bottom, I'm not sure if I can articulate what I know I need to do. It's just about balance. If I had put this narrow ruffle at the bottom, I don't think it would have looked right. It needs, the hem needs weight, it needs substance. I know I'm failing to articulate what I mean, but I hope you're picking up a little bit on what I'm saying. Okay, center ruffle pinned to center back. And if I measured and gathered correctly, we should come out pretty good. Okay, again, I'm just guesstimating where the edge of that button is, and that's going to be my stop, because I will definitely be buttoning the bottom of the shirt. And I want my top overlapping. I don't want this underneath, and you'll see. Okay, so here's my center. I'm going to pull it out and show you that that's pretty good. Now, with it stretched like so, I just lay it down, and I will grab right there at the center seam. Found my center seam, and now I pin. Okay. You can still, even if you've serged it ahead of time, you can still adjust your ruffles somewhat. Okay, there's the side seam. Looking good. I actually am going to stop here for 1 second. I'm going to put a navy blue bobbin in, and you'll see why. It's time to switch this out, and I should have mentioned it with the collar, leaving the yellow thread in the top. We'll see how my tension, how well my tension is balanced. You should see yellow on top and blue on the bottom. Okay, so let's finish pinning. So once again, these 3 fingers are going to become my pliers. They pinch. They pinch the fabric and pull back. And moving each time, I'm moving up now to that pin that I just put in. enough. And same on the other side. But because my buttonhole is on this side, it's going to overlap from right to left, so I am going to pin out my ruffle all the way to the edge this time. I think you are picking up what I'm putting down about the overlap. Okay, once again, if you can't see everything, just know I am pulling it out. Let it fall naturally. Pick it up at that side seam. So what you're actually doing, the whole idea is to pin it in quarters. Center front, center back, side seams. That's how you start the process, and then it's just a matter of moving it up to the raw edge, getting it in place. If it seems like I over-explain sometimes, it's only because I'm considering that I may have people who are brand new at sewing or never sewn and never have even tried anything like this. And I want to make sure, if you are someone that is like, right, of course, I know about pinning the quarter, that's fine. I just ask that you understand that my audience is varied, and I want everybody to be inspired and encouraged. Oh man, we're getting close. This is going to be so great. Make sure the ruffle gathers are, I should say the ruffle is going off perpendicular to the raw edge. See how that one, this is good. See how that one was kind of folded over? You don't want to pin it that way. As you sew along, you want to make sure that that's going to stay straight out. And I'll be, well, just like previously, removing the pins as I sew and finessing it as I go along. So SEW, we have it ready to stitch. Now, I switched out my bobbin because I'm going to sew from the top. Whenever you have more fabric on one side than the other. So for instance, this is gathered, so I have a lot more fabric. That should go on the bottom whenever possible. I didn't talk about that earlier, but definitely in this case, you sewing with the bottom feed dog, unless you're using a walking foot, which you can use a walking foot, but if you're not, this feed dog is on the bottom, so you want that meeting the extra fabric. I'm not sure, again, articulating, but I hope you understand what I'm thinking. So with a blue bobbin in, it'll be blue thread showing, and that's an important thing. We're using a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Hold those threads, press your foot down, boom. Reverse with a construction stitch, of course, at this point, because this is all that's gonna, well, we will go back and top stitch, but okay, now my threads are fine, so I can let go of them and fuss it. Keep those raw edges together. Grab behind, keep even tension front and back with edges aligned. And I'm going to stop because I don't like that, what I just said to you. And I was just going to say, if you want to put more pins in, put more pins in, but there you go. I clipped the top, get that there. That pulls back easy enough. I don't have to go very far, but see, let me show in this angle. So had I continued on like that, I would not be happy with that finish. So let me push that back in and put another pin in. Probably didn't use enough pins. I'm kind of glad for that error because that's exactly when you have something like that. That's a pretty glaring mistake and it should be fixed. You have to kind of decide yourself, but that was way off. It takes time to put pins in, and it takes time to pull the pins out, but beautiful work will sometimes require pinning, pinning, pinning. And you know, the reward is not the process. The process leads to the reward, which is a final beautiful product that you can feel good. Even if nobody knows you made it, even if nobody knows how long it took, you know. And it's very satisfying. When I work on my brides' gowns, they have no idea what it took for me to alter hem, take in, bustle, add sleeves, add a skirt. They have no idea the time and the care that it took to do that. But I don't need for them to know that. I know, and I am so satisfied when they walk out the door with a smile on their face. And I said, I did that. I put that smile on her face. Thank you, Lord. And when I put this on and nobody notices it, nobody knows what it took to get it done, I know. And I feel so accomplished. Let's check our ruffles. Are they all? That's okay. Just flip. If you have a doubt, just flip. They all look pretty good. So far, yep. It's a ruffle, right? It's gonna ruffle. So what I want to say about that bobbin is you can see, because this is how the shirt hem is going to finish. We'll come in and we're going to top stitch with the seam allowance going up. So I did want to make sure that I didn't have yellow stitching under there. And then on the collar, I want to also show you really quick. Let me get this out of the way. I did not change the bobbin here, and I wanted to mention this. I could have changed and put a blue bobbin in, but I wasn't as concerned about that. I became aware of it as I was talking and putting this in, and I thought, nope, it doesn't have to, because this is going to lay flat. It's not a stand-up collar. If it's a stand-up collar and there's a chance that the bottom will be seen, then you want to change your bobbin thread, but otherwise. So we have our collar on. We have our cuff ruffles on. And the last thing we need to do is edge stitch. You could say we're going to top stitch it on the edge, or just say it's an edge stitch. Top stitch is anywhere you're sewing on top. This is a top stitch, but it's not an edge stitch. So, hey, just thought I'd throw that in there, because it might come up in a trivia question one day. All right, I'm not going to press it first because this is big enough. Instead of running over to the ironing board, I'm just going to put pressure on as I top stitch. You can go around once, you can go around twice and mimic your cuff. I think I'll just go once. So I'm going to put it in and we're going to go. And once again, on the bottom I'll have a blue stitch, and on the top my yellow. So let's get to it. Okay, needle down, and I am in about 1/4 of an inch, maybe an 1/8, because I'm going to back stitch first. Watch those threads. 1, 2, construction stitch forward, hold my threads. My fingers are spreading this out as I go. There. Now I can let go of my threads. And so it's this action as the machine moves the fabric through. If you were doing this on denim, I think it would be nice to increase your stitch length, because usually on denim and heavier gear, they top stitch and finish stitch with longer stitches. Heavier thread too, but you can use upholstery weight thread in your sewing machine to give a heavier thread finish on the outside. Or you can buy yourself a beautiful industrial walking foot sewing machine and do all your finished stitching on that with heavy duty thread. I love that color right there. It's like my favorite color currently. Always be checking. Making sure things are flat, making sure nothing is underneath, and you're going to have to, that you've sewn the center front underneath the back because you weren't paying attention. Oh my, I'm beside myself with happiness. I did want, I talked when we began the video, I mentioned I picked this top in particular because it had extra fullness in it, and the weight of the ruffle will pull it down, but it will feel twirly and girly. So not only, I'll trim that later, not only will we have a twirly dress, we have it with a ruffle, and it's like girly to the nth degree. Back stitch, forward stitch. pull it out. I do not want a double row of stitching, top stitching here, and it is a little bit of seam allowance. So we're going to press it and that'll help, but you could actually stitch in the ditch at your seams, side seams. It's just a little finishing technique and it'll help keep that seam allowance from flopping. I'll do it right on top because we have edge stitching here. Ooh, look at that. I'm almost going to unthread. There. And that's going to help. We'll just do that at both of the, see, when I sew, things pop up like, well, that's a little thing. Yep, it's a little thing, but every little thing along with the big things is what makes a piece great and distinguishes it from the rest of the crowd. And don't we all want to be unique? God created us. Who wants to be like the status quo? Not me. Not since I was 4 years old, maybe younger. I've never wanted to be like everybody else. And in high school, every kid wants to be the nonconformist. And we're so nonconformist that we end up conforming. Anyway, what I'm saying is, God created us as individuals. And as individuals, we want to express our individuality. So why would I go to the mall? Why would I buy from China the same thing that everybody else is wearing? Why not use a little creative energy and make something so unique, so different, so far from the status quo? And that's something that will put a smile on your face, a spring in your step. It's so wonderful to be able to sew. Keep going, keep going. Don't quit. You will never arrive. There's always something more to learn, to grow and to change, and that's life in general. So, I'm going to press my bottom ruffle. I'm going to give my collar a little tweak, and I might just put it on for you. That's the scariest part for me. Put it on. We'll see. I'm just admiring the look. I know, I could say something, but it's so fun just to look at it. Fold it out flat. It is a flat collar. Little by little. By the way, if you don't like ironing or pressing, I'm sad to say you're not going to be very successful as a sewer. The best pieces are pressed as you go. And while this is far from perfect, I find it quite lovely in its own way. Nothing is perfect in life, is it? There is one perfect being, but everything else is a far cry from perfection. So I sew with excellence in mind, with a beautiful finished product. A beautiful finished product that I am satisfied with. I'm crushing the ruffle, crushing that ruffle. I don't care. I don't care what you think about my crushed ruffles. I love that look for this. There are just some things in life that cannot be explained. Just go with it. Hey, if you're paying me and you say, I don't want my ruffles crushed, I will not crush your ruffles, but I will just shake my head in sadness when you take it away. And I'll think, how can she do that? How can she not have those ruffles crushed? It's like linen, you know. A lot of people don't like linen because it wrinkles. There's wrinkles. That's what I love about linen. That's how you know it's linen, because it crushes and it wrinkles and it's beautiful and wonderful. I thank you for tuning in. This has been an amazing project for me, and to be able to share it with you, I'm just thrilled. So, and I want to hear other ideas that you have. Make sure to comment and let me know. From flannel shirt to test piece to final product. So good. So fun. Why wouldn't everybody want to do it? And not only that, you know what's more fun? The next time somebody Googles upcycle a flannel shirt, they're going to see more than quilting ideas. 2 thumbs up. Thanks so much. Be blessed and have a great day.